Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my Tabletop RPG News Roundup, this time for May 18th, 2025, where each week I take a look back at the week in Tabletop RPG News and bring you the highlights, although I've missed a few, especially with new releases. But as usual, we'll start with non-indie releases. It looks like Wizards of the Coast has had its next Splat book up for pre-orders. Eberron, Forge of the Artificer, will be a rules expansion themed on Eberron, of course, and will be a bit different than prior source books for 5th edition, with less content but also a slightly lower price. Onwards towards minor and PDF releases, Kelphicil's Tales has a couple of treasure hunt setups for 5th edition. There is a Scythe of the Frozen Flame and an Amulet of the Void Apostle, each focusing on a single item. Laidback DM has St. Avon's Madness 2, Descent, an entry into the Shot Glass Adventure series, once more having the party track down the source of the madness, this time pursuing it deep into the dark underworld. Ancient Tombs is a 5th edition offering from Legendary Games that offers various hazards, creatures, etc. to be found in the burial chambers of the ancient dead. The Mini Vault of Time is a 5th edition adventure dealing with a noble who created a way to travel back in time but did not live long thereafter. Chronicles of Ivrea, the Demise of Vivillon from Planar Inc., opens a new adventure series, this one suited for low-level characters and covers gothic intrigue, demonic conspiracies, and mystery. The Infernal Mother is a 5th edition adventure from the Adventure Ripples, dealing with druids who once held back a tide of demons and now seek help to do it once more. The Aberrant Codex is a 5th edition supplement that offers various mutations, aberrations, eldritch horrors, either through creatures, character options, or other mechanics. Dream of Dragons from Elven Tower is a level 6 adventure suited for both D&D and Shadowdark, dealing with a search for a dragon who is presumed responsible for the horrible dreams of the locals. Munich is a campaign guide for 5th edition that details a world of mystery and wild creatures, including 8 main quests, numerous side quests, original creatures, locations, companion adventures, and so forth. Bounty of the Sea Bestiary is an add-on to the Woodland Harvest Bestiary, which had given rules to integrate hunting. This one focuses on natural creatures of the deep and expands upon that. City of Arches is a high fantasy source book from Sly Flourish that details a bustling metropolis with an introductory scenario, a player's guide that offers information on characters related to the city, hundreds of adventure hooks, some campaign arcs, and short adventures, and much more. The Dragon Sword number 54 is another offering from Legendary Games, this one offering a variety of material from magic items, class options, spells, and creatures for 5th edition. More Prepared is a collection of brief adventures for Tales of the Valiant and other 5th edition-based RPGs that allows you to have them on hand for when characters go off or you have little time to prepare a proper adventure during a night. Goodman Games has Dungeon Crawl Classics number 108, The Seventh Thrall of Sekrekan, a Dungeon Crawl Classics compatible adventure that can function as a zero-level funnel with several adventure locations. Shadow of the Cursed Cathedral is a Shadowdark RPG adventure that deals with a defiled cathedral. Tomb of False Valor is another Shadowdark RPG adventure, this one suited for thieves and focused for a deadly one-shot style. Beyond the Shadows is a hex crawl that can be used for Shadowdark, taking the adventurers out into the wilderness. Fearsome Beasts of the Shadowdark offers a new set of creatures from Seth's Gear and Ammo catalog to the Shadowdark RPG. Shadow Beasties 2 is another monster book for Shadowdark, this one offers 20 new monsters to deal with the system. Troll Games has Rings of the Red God, an adventure for their Amazing Adventures system, which is based on their Siege engine used in Castle Crusades as well, which deals with a deity once lost to the annals of history, now returned. It is the sequel to Rise of the Red God and has 3 adventures and associated material. Wondrous and Perilous Adventures, The Lost Cannon, is an OSR adventure suited for pretty much any OSR system that deals with a legendary weapon in some swampy ruins. A Voyage to Fomalhaut is another OSR adventure offering, this time a player's gazetteer, to a sword and sorcery setting thousands of years after its initial founding by a starfaring civilization. The Sword of Valis is an old-school Essentials compatible adventure, this one being the second of a trilogy of adventures called The Three Swords of the Valis Samaritans. It's available in Basic, Deluxe, and King versions, each one offering more supplementary material. Rovers and Riches 2nd edition is an old-school fantasy adventure offering 3 basic classes up to 6th level, as well as a Thief and Knight class, and is designed to be compatible with any OSR adventure without conversion while maintaining fast gameplay. Entanglement Interactive has 2 offerings for the Dark Energy system. There is a creature reference guide that offers over 250 foes, then the Shearing Aftermath and Adventure with paths for both good and evil solutions. The Book of Eve is a Call of Cthulhu scenario set in the 1910s, inspired by Indiana Jones and various historical romances. Then there's the Cthulhu Solo Adventure Generator for Cthulhu Eternal, a solo RPG using the Cthulhu mythos in the 20s. Cthulhu Bay is an investigative RPG inspired by the Lovecraftian mythos and with a streamlined rule set that includes 4 tales within it. Bit odd in it is a one-dice system that features teenage adventures in rural Britain around a village called Gorton and features various folkloric and Lovecraftian entities. Wild Hunt is a supplement for Scion 2nd edition that revolves around various hunters, warriors, and such that protect the innocent from supernatural threats. Corners of Creation, the cloud fleet of the upper sky, is designed for the Exalted system and it details a setting where people were driven into the heavens by an ancient cataclysm. Nuked is a post-apocalyptic rules-light tabletop RPG where survivors try to survive and rebuild. And finally, Shadowrun, a Margin Calls, is a plot source book that covers the corporate world after a recent Shadow War and the opportunities thereafter. With that, let's take a look at crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done on your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product. Mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. And it looks like Gallant and Belor's Heroes and Horrors is a 5th edition supplement that will offer a number of subclasses and lineages useful for both players and DMs. Then Shadowmere is a 5th edition compatible adventure in a dark fantasy cursed land where the remains of the world hidden behind arcane seals and a frontier outpost are built upon the edge of a crater from whence a cataclysm emerged. The Castle Amongst the Clouds is a one-shot adventure for 5th edition set in a floating castle above the clouds, of course. And When Unveiled looks to be a Fey Realms-based core book for 5th edition that details the secrets of the Fey courts and a campaign set about them. Isle of the Witch Kings will be a 5th edition campaign set around a cursed archipelago ruled by 3 ancient kings as well as fragments of a crown that once bound them together. Along the River is a set of 3 quests for new parties suited for 5th edition set in the Chesnik region. Korsara will be an Egyptian dieselpunk-themed science fantasy campaign setting revolving around a megalopolis surrounded by 7 megastructures and will be suited for both Pathfinder 2nd edition as well as D&D 5th. Awakening of the Avanga looks to be a 5th edition adventure focused on an ancient African legend and revolves around a powerful tribe celebrating the wedding of their princess. Monster Tamers in the continent of Azira is to be a module for 5th edition that will focus on playing a monster tamer that captures powerful creatures from a homebrew setting. Roma, Shadows of the Empire, will be an adventure and associated material, monsters, etc. that starts with the party as prisoners forced to fight in a coliseum. Into the Woods will be a 5th edition woodland resource that offers new character species, monsters, villains, etc. that focus on the woodlands. Tome of Terrors Volume 10 once more offers a set of epic monsters for 5th edition along with mini-adventures featuring them as well as the STL files for the miniatures. The Worms Crawl In is to be a 5th edition survival horror sourcebook with a theme of pestilence and swarm-type beings. Chrome Heart Revolt will be a cyberpunk fantasy campaign for 5th edition, moving the 5th edition base system into a near-future fantasy setting. Shadow Hack looks to be a third-party expansion for the Shadow Dark RPG with additional ancestry, lineages, classes, spells, monsters, magic items, and more. From Out of Nowhere, Book 3, Noleman's Island, is the final adventure for the Out of Nowhere series for Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG, revolving around a Null outbreak, of course. The Call of the Hyena looks to fund an old-school adventure for 1st edition and compatible systems set in one of the iconic regions of classic D&D. It looks like Modiphius is coming out with a Heroes of Might and Magic-based tabletop RPG, bringing the classic strategy RPG franchise to tabletop. Cosmic Dark will be a tabletop RPG of weird space horror from the author of Cthulhu Dark. And finally, there's Legend RPG, a 5e plus style RPG that offers multi-genre capability. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler, my tabletop RPG news roundup from May 18th, 2025, and I'm running really late, be very little editing this time. As always, links will be below. If you like what you're seeing, remember to leave a like, comment, any feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.